Good evening. Welcome to this edition of the 401 Talk Zone Radio Show. My name is Leon Jones. Today is Friday, October 21st, 2016. Tune into the 401 Talk Zone Radio Show every Saturday from 12 noon to 2 p.m. right here on Blog Talk Radio. It's going to be a good show tomorrow as we are going to talk about the purpose of networking and how important it is to all business professionals. So you don't want to miss this show. Guest call-in number is 215-383-5785. Now, if you missed any of my Blog Talk Radio shows, you can click the links that I have included at the bottom of each and every one of my videos. Now, click the ones on for the 401 Talk Zone Radio Show. You will find not only the current archive Blog Talk Radio Show, but you can go to all 16 previous Blog Talk Radio shows that I did starting all the way back from July. And also you can click on to the 401 Talk Zone Radio Show right here on YouTube. That's right. So, that being said, if you like my videos, please share and subscribe to the 401 Talk Zone Radio Show right here on YouTube so I can continue giving you quality information for educational purposes from a professional and mature perspective on this channel. I don't engage in emotional, controversial issues, nor do I participate in drama or unnecessary bickering. So please be respectful and positive. My channel is to educate, not to debate. We have enough channels and individuals who are very good at the more controversial topics. Here, I want to make sure you gain some knowledge so you can make better decisions in your life. We live in a turbulent society. So, you need individuals who are going to set the example. I'm not perfect myself because I can also learn from my audience. But I want to give you this information that I have found that you don't get in any colleges, or I call them the Federal Education Department, known as your elementary, your middle school, and your high schools. That being said, if you have a business or a topic that you would like for me to discuss right here on the 401 Talk Zone Radio Show on YouTube or Blog Talk Radio, please email me at lej6521@gmail.com. Please feel free to comment, but make sure that your comments are pithy, no bloviating. If you wish to opine. Tonight's topic, we're going to talk about workplace violence. Although we haven't heard too much in the media about it, it still takes place. But here's the problem. We're always given the solutions on how to solve workplace violence. But what about the perpetrators? You have a lot of what I call bully bosses today. If they don't like an employee, they can get other employees to assassinate the employee that they don't like's character. And I'm sure everybody who has worked in any type of organization has had workplace bullying. I know I've gone through it, and at times I didn't want to hold my tongue, but I had to because I knew the consequences. Now, given that we've had the rash of not just workplace violence shootings, but high school shootings, has anything been done about it regarding the perpetrator? I know when I watch a football game, it is always the second guy who gets hit with the personal foul. But why? People don't react just to react if they have a conscious mind. Now you have your sociopaths who have no remorse, and they're going to react based off any type of purpose because they just don't care. But in the workplace, the big problem, and I have to go back to it, is HR. Well, HR is supposed to provide, of course, workplace policy. And I know HR is looking out for the best interest of management. However, when there is workplace violence, HR should also look at both sides because they are antagonistic managers. We've all gone through it. And if you work in the corporate world today, you have more disrespectful people who are supposed to be professional. I do not see the corporate world as professional. It's a dog-eat-dog world. Yes, we call it competition, but there's a lot of office politics. Now, why is this happening? Well, number one, the biggest issue, I believe, is disgruntled employees. You have some employees who come to work, they don't want to do any type of work, but they want to cause a problem in the workplace. Now you have others who do want to do work, but they're bullied because they're not liked. You see, when you work for any type of organization, you're going to find cliques. The workplace has become a joke. This is why I don't like working in the corporate world or in the office environment. I mean, you have to worry about the sexual harassment. You have to worry about any type of hostile work environment. You have bully bosses. And you have other employees who are trying to make their way by kissing butt. It happens. I've seen it. I'm sure you've all seen it. But the bottom line, we cannot fix the workplace violence issue until we look at the perpetrators as well. So we always look at the person who reacts, but we don't look at the person who starts. That's the problem. You're never going to come to a diplomacy issue with workplace violence until you get both parties together. And sometimes things happen at home. Individuals bring their problems to work. Also, you have managers, they don't care about the employees because they're going to keep their jobs, and they know if this employee, if we can get them out of here, we can always get somebody to fill their place. That's the problem. And when you have a down economy, it affects the performance of each and every organization. Stress levels are running high. Now, I'm going to give you a word of caution. If you feel that your boss or another employee is mistreating you, document everything that is taking place. Make sure you have it chronologically documented. I'm talking about date, place, time, what occurred, when did it occur, how did it occur. Get as much documentation as you can, because if HR is not going to help you with the problem, then you're going to have to sort out a lawyer. That's what you're going to have to do. The workplace should be a place of business, production, professionalism. It shouldn't be a circus. But you have too many people who go into work and they don't do a lot of work themselves. They feel important because they have a job title. I've known that. I worked at PennDOT, and there were a number of people who sat in positions for a long time. And they felt that they had all this power and responsibility. Then you had employees who didn't do anything. And there were days I wanted to go in and put my hands on somebody to let them know that I'm not the one to be played with in the workplace, because I come to work to do my job. To me, if you go in to work, do not be involved in a clique. Do your work assignment. Document all your work assignments. The person that you should be interacting with the most is your supervisor. Remember this, your supervisor controls all of the work. Now, you have to have a good supervisor because there are a number of supervisors, and you all can agree with me on this, who have been promoted from being a regular employee to a supervisor because they couldn't do their job at an employee level. Now, that doesn't make sense, but that's what's happening. And that also causes a lot of strife in the workplace. Yes, we have all these workplace prevention programs, which are good. They're supposed to maintain a safe and work environment. We have all these sexual harassment lectures. Good. But we need to settle the workplace violence issue when it comes to the perpetrator. Because it's always not the person who reacts last. I've always been a person, if you put your hands on me, I'm going to put my hands on you. That's the way it is. Again, I'm not blaming everything on the bosses or the employee, but I am looking at this issue with a general overview of what is actually taking place. I mean, it doesn't matter what company. You used to hear the term going postal. That's where it started, in the post office. I've seen it in restaurants. The biggest problem with workplace environments that create workplace violence is really the lack of professionalism. Very mature people, a lot of gossip taking place, rumors, character assassinations. Now, a lot of employees don't know that if the incident continues and you go to your supervisor about it and they don't want to do anything, well, they're also part of the problem. You have to get the supervisor's attention. And also, if you go to your supervisor, they're going to try to retaliate as well. That's another problem. So when you have the lack of cohesiveness with the chain of command, that's going to frustrate the employee or even the manager, because you have managers who are also disrespected as well. That shouldn't happen. So, what I'm trying to give you all is this idea that when you go to work, or if you are looking for a job, I'll start with looking for a job first. Make sure you investigate the company. Because what you're told in an interview, it might sound good until you actually get into the company, then you find out it's not for you. Now, let's go to HR. What you have to do when you deal with HR is this. Make sure that HR gives you the information, and the information should come in the form of paperwork, videos, conferences, and you should also sit down with your supervisor if you are in a position that you are feeling threatened. Now, I will tell you, HR, again, their responsibility is to make sure that all management staff is making sure that they are adhering to the company's objectives, because that's their job. Now, HR's job also is to have workplace prevention programs, safety, benefits. I did a video a month ago on HR. But also, it's good for HR to actually listen to both sides of the coin. Because on one hand, being for the company, yes, that is your job. But you also want to maintain retention of the employees, because any company with a bad reputation can be out of business very fast. And the way social media has taken apart persons' careers, One incident, your company could be out of business in a day, in hours, because when videos are produced, they can go viral. And social media has made it very easy to invade people's privacies. Now, do I encourage everybody to take a camera to work to see if they're being bullied? No. Do I encourage anybody to record their boss? Absolutely not. That is an invasion of privacy. But if each and every person is very mature and professional about what's taking place, they can solve the problem. But do they want to solve the problem? Some of them don't. That's why when I'm given a bunch of information at orientation, I'll read it. But you do have a lot of managers who are abusing their power, and they're doing it again because of the economy. And when the economy is slow and there are a lot of people looking for a job, managers can get rid of employees for the smallest issue. This is why in this day and age, let me tell you employees something. Be to work on time, get your assignments done on time, and be professional to your bosses. Because nobody is work-proof. You can all lose your jobs. Managers, you can lose your jobs as well, but you're less likely because you're the one that is supposed to run the operations on a day-to-day basis. But lastly, just want to sum it up. We're never going to stop workplace violence, but what we can do is we can slow it down. But we need the prevention to be against the perpetrator as well as the reactor. That's where the problem is. We can't see one side of the story blindly. And if we continue to do that, we're going to have the violence in the workplace. We're going to have violence in movie theaters, because you do have individuals who are mentally insane that are also going out committing these crimes. What happened in Aurora, Colorado, Sandy Hook, Columbine, the list goes on and on and on. We also have to recognize the stability of people. Also, let me tell you HR types need good background checks. But some people can fool you. But a good background check to see if this person is a felon. See how stable they are. Because individuals can fool you. Make sure that when you get a reference check, you get the right references. And if the company doesn't do background checks, hire someone that does do background checks. Fingerprints. You want to make sure who you bring in is stable as well. So it's like being a school teacher. School teachers are supposed to teach, but I've seen many videos where school teachers are getting disrespected and violence is occurring against the school teacher for failing a student who should be doing their work. Being a school teacher has become a tough job. And I'm going to get into tomorrow's video. I'm going to talk about the strike that's going on in Pennsylvania at the 14 state colleges and universities. And professors do make a lot of money because I've seen their salaries. On the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania site, I used to work for the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, you'll find out that a lot of your money goes to the education people. I'm talking about your administrators, your professors. I remember the CEO of FIA, which deals with all the student loans, makes close to $400,000 a year. That's what the president makes. But I'll get into that tomorrow's video. But right now, I want to finish touching on workplace violence. Workplace violence. We have preventions in place. But let's start making it fair by going after the perpetrator as well as the reactant. And if you have a title, you're no better than the person who is doing the work. Because at the end of the day, and I'm talking to you managers out there, your employees are the ones making you look good. So do something for them. Appreciate their work. If you are stressed as a manager, take time off. Same with you employees, because a lot of people are bringing their personal business into work, causing strife in the workplace. HR types, like I said, do good background checks. Make sure you understand in your training about safety, stress, and you refer to your employees to some arenas that they can get help. Because at the end of the day, anybody in the workforce, you can come in to work like a normal employee and end up in a body bag later on, because this happened. But at the end of the day, put the preventive measures in place, and you look at each case objectively, perpetrator and reactant, we can solve a lot of these workplace violent cases. And also, if we have a little bit more professionalism, less politics, it will help motivate your workforce. And at the end of the day, everybody's happy. And you can work efficiently as an organization. That's my commentary for this evening's edition of the 401 Talk Zone Radio Show. Till next time, my name is Leon Jones. Remember to be gentle and respectful to each other. Have a wonderful and blessed night.